This is Indie Book Publishing. Indie Book Publishing is a show about new books and the authors who wrote them. It's an opportunity for prospective readers to hear directly from the writers, to hear what inspired them to write and publish, and to hear all the inside details about their books. And now, Indie Book Publishing with your host, Steve Jorgensen.
The title of the book, Rising Above Grief for People and Pets, a true story of love, caring, and sharing. And the author, Philippa Kingsley. And Philippa joins us now on Indie Book Publishing, this interview brought to you by Balboa Press. Hello, Philippa.
Hello, Steve.
Great to have you with us. This is going to be quite a journey because you've been on quite a journey for some time, and we'll get into those details in a moment, but I first wanted to just read a couple things that you have written about your book, just to set the stage for everyone. You say this: rising above grief for people and pets will help you through the emotional earthquake of grief with the realization there is a beginning, a middle, and an end to this process, and that you will learn to live and laugh again. And boy, that last statement there, to learn to live and laugh again, there's times when death and suffering around us, especially with those who we love, it's hard to understand or even believe that could ever happen again, right?
That's right, but things can, because everything changes. Nothing's permanent in life. Our moods, how we feel, how we think, everything changes, the ebb and flow. The only thing permanent in life is impermanence. I think it's important to remember that for everybody. We tend to forget that as human beings. We're so busy running around, busy being busy, as I say.
Right.
It's important to balance and check into what you feel and what you think, and to be true to yourself. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you live in the world, to be true to yourself, and to know that the most important thing in life is love. And I'm not talking about love, because that's quite different. But, you know, pure divine love transcends all, transcends everything. And we go through all sorts of traumas and tests in life, and life is a learning lesson. And once you get through all these different things, you realize you're not who you thought you were. You're actually the balance of the essence of the soul of who you are. And that's basically, I would say, where it's at. And to trust and to just realize that love is all around you in whatever form it is, and that when we go through the grieving process, it is totally like an emotional earthquake. It's devastating. And, you know, there's, as I say, there's 3 points of grieving. There's the pre-grieving, the grieving process itself. And then after that, and it can take, there's no right way or wrong way. It just is what it is. And a lot of people don't understand this in the West, whereas in the Far East they tend to understand more. But, you know, as human beings, it's wherever we live, it's something that we all have to go through at some stage, because we're not forever, as I say. We think we are, but we're not.
Right.
You know, the physical body is not here, but, you know, who we are, the essence of who we are, does go on, but not the physical body. That's the shell that passes away. And I think also with a pet or a person, you know, with a beloved companion animal, it's very, very difficult to think that, you know, that they're not there anymore. You can't strike them, you can't stroke them behind the ears. You know, you can't give them a belly rub, a tummy rub, or anything like that. But the presence of them is still around you, and that always will be. In your heart, the essence of who they are. And it's the same, you know, whether it's a parent, a friend, you know, a human being, any being. Loss is loss, as I say, whether the person is four-legged, two-legged, furry, or feathered. You know, the grieving process is the same. That's what I would share with everybody.
Well, before we get into more about the details of your book and the different messages and the themes, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a certified vortex healing, divine energy healing practitioner. Tell us about what that means.
Well, vortex healing, and the basics, in basic terms, what it is, it's a healing modality. But it's not just any old healing modality. It's also a path towards awakening to true self. And what is awakening to true self? It's basically that everything is pure divine love. And awaken to pure love. And there's various different things that help people on the different paths. It works at the level of the mental, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, and the karmic levels. And, you know, it's not new agey. It's been around for over 6,000 years. And it's taught around the world also. And that's this is what I was guided to do. I never in a million years thought this is what I would be doing, but in life, it's like shedding a skin. You shed your old skin, but you're still the essence of who you are and who you're meant to be, or whatever it is, any different time or time in life. So, as I say, the levels that it works at the, as I said, the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and karmic levels, and I'm channeling energy. It's from divine consciousness imprinted onto human consciousness, and it works at the cellular level. Most people's issues are based in the cellular level, and that's really what I work at. Not just a spiritual massage of, oh, that feels lovely, and then you still got the same issues. It's really working at a deep core level to shift one's issue. Yeah, that's the basics.
And you say that this book has been written from totally a personal perspective. What happened that created this book?
Well, my beloved father and my dogs, my adored dogs, passed away, and this has been a whole journey for me. It wasn't just something of saying, oh, I'm going to write a book now. It wasn't like that. I never thought I would be writing a book, but in life you don't know what's going to happen. So basically, through everything that came through and what happened to me, I just felt that it's comfort and compassion to be able to write this book. And it was a lot of notes that I kept, writings over the years. When as I say, the grief and the whole process of everything that I went through when my first dog passed away, Vogie, and English Cocker Spaniel, and then my father, and then my other English Cocker Spaniel dog called Cosmo, passed away in 2009. And then a year and a half later, I was guided to write this book, and everything channeled through me, everything. So I have all my notes, and it came from another realm of being. It wasn't just me sitting there physically writing a book. It just came through me, all the words, everything. It's been a spiritual path, spiritual journey that we all go through in life if we choose and we're ready. And I was ready to do this, and through this is what I do to help people go through the grieving process. This is what I specialize in, with grief, because it's not many people like to discuss it, as I said earlier, in the West. So it's the book is comfort and compassion, but with a very strong spiritual energy that comes through.
Now, you also say that 50% of your book's for people and then 50% for animals. What do you mean by that? Okay,
the first 50%, if you like, is to do with the story of what happened with my father. As I say, the pre-grieving, the grieving, and afterwards, and the aftermath, and everything of that. And it's all interconnected. And everything else is to do with companion animals, with pets. What do you do when you've lost a beloved pet? How do you get through it? How do you talk to people? What do you do? The various things that can help you, the different tools that can help on all of this, and the emotional side of it, and the grieving process, and knowing that you can talk to someone, that somebody, when you've been through something yourself, it's much easier to empathize with other people because you've been through it. Otherwise, it's just talking, it's just words, vacuous words otherwise. So it's the emotion, it's the heart, the spiritual heart that opens to help people. And that's what I'm guided to do, and that's what I do. I've also helped people also who've lost children as well. I also deal with people, which is obviously devastating for families. And I've helped that. I've helped children and the families also. And also my mother, who had Alzheimer's. There's a story about her in there as well. She's passed away this year, actually. So it's everything, the whole process of what we go through. But just knowing that this is not the end. This is what we're going through on a human level. There is another world, another realm, another essence of being, of the soul, of who we all are. But the book is to help people, whether, as I say, whether it's through people or whether it's through pets. It's going through the issue of grief and helping people and guiding them through it with the understanding that, they will learn to live and laugh again. One can't understand it when you're going through something. Everything is just dark, dense. You can't operate from anything. You feel like in another world. You just feel the world, nothing is important. Nothing means anything. There's no balance. There's no equilibrium anymore. What's the real meaning of life? But when you understand that death is actually part of life, but when you're going through something, you can't think that way. You just go through the emotions. And as I say, it is truly an emotional earthquake from the depths of the whole being, from the whole soul. It shakes you to the core level, the core root of it. And to be able to get some help from somebody that understands on many levels is quite something. I also at the time when I wrote the book, I hadn't studied, but I've actually been studying mediumship as well. And so I connect with animals in spirit if that's what a client or somebody wants to, connect with their pet in spirit, or any other person as well, any other loved person. So this has been a whole journey of everything. It's a whole process. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's all about love, and that whoever we have in our lives is still in our hearts, in our physical heart, in our whole being. And we feel alone, and but we're not alone. That's what I would share with everybody.
And thus, I see in the table of contents, I see unconditional love mentioned more than once.
Yes, unconditional love. And I say animals actually, companion animals, or any animals actually give unconditional love. Truly, more than humans actually. Because with humans, things become more conditional, often. Not always, obviously. So it's keeping the options open of everything and realizing that love is there, love is all around us. We just have to be quiet long enough to feel it and be there to help us, to guide us, just to be and to be in the moment. And you can't live in the past, you can't live in the future, you just have to live in the moment. You'll never have that time again. But everything is pure, unconditional love. And to have that time when you know that somebody's going to pass away, a beloved, as I say, it could be a friend, whoever you have in your life, anything, is to be able to sort of clear the energy from that, to be able to say goodbye, say things that you want to say to them, or that they wanted to say. It's just fear that stops us from doing things. Fear is the most challenging thing for human beings. So it's letting go of the fear and being helped to let go of the fear. Because there's no other time. This is it. It's living in the moment of what one is experiencing at that time.
And thus, this power of love, caring, and sharing. Unique chapter 11, talks about a frog. Now, tell us about the frog.
Oh, the frog. That was amazing, yes. Well, that was something that was, it shows us that it was shown to me that I saw this frog, which was in my garden. And the frog wanted to show me the grieving that went on when the frog lost its mother, that all animals feel. It doesn't matter whatever they are, farm animals, companion animals, all animals, when they lose somebody that they love, all animals have emotions and feelings of love, sadness, fear, everything, as we all do, as human beings do also. So basically the frog story was something obviously that I decided to include it as a chapter, because I was guided to, because it shows us whatever we have and whoever we have in our life, even a frog has feelings. It lost its mother, and that's the sadness. And, by the frog having its hand on its mother, the part that was left, because it said a hawk had taken the rest of her. It was devastating. It was just so devastating on a core level to see this. I couldn't stop crying. I just couldn't stop crying at that moment, because the emotions of how the frog was feeling. And as an animal communicator, that's what I connected with. And that's what I do with animals. I connect with animals and how they feel, how they think. They show me pictures, or I connect, or thoughts and things come through me, how they're feeling, and I ask them questions and different stuff. So between the vortex healing and then the animal communication, that's how I connect with animals. And to help animals
So the
heal.
promise is we can learn to live and laugh again, but you have to trust in the process.
You do, because everything in life is a process. Everything. You just have to trust that you will be looked after and you're not left alone. Even though at times when you're going with something and something's happened and it's devastating to the whole psyche, that literally things change, because that's what happens. Life is change. We change. And how you feel today is not the same as you're going to feel tomorrow, because that's how life is. We grow, we change, and that's why it's important to have love and caring and sharing with compassion for everybody, all sentient beings, and for ourselves, because you have to love yourself and like yourself before you can love and like anybody else in life. It's having compassion for all and realizing that everything is love. If you just trust that something higher than all of us is we are surrounded by. It's nothing to do with religion. You're connected with the divine. I like to use the word divine, actually. And everything is divine healing and the divine. We are not alone. We think we're alone, but we're not. So it's reaching out to everybody we have in our life and saying, I love you. Just those words can mean everything. Even people who have been difficult in our lives and challenging, because also when people are going through all sorts of situations, that's when they're more vulnerable. And you can say something to them. It can be that one word that can change their whole life, their whole way of orientation of how they're thinking, and how you connect with them and how they connect with you. So as I say, remember, everything is love, caring, and sharing, and to trust. Trust in the process, and eventually to realize that you will learn to live and laugh again. When you're going through something, you think you'll never will. Nothing changes, but in time it will. It's timing. As I would say, on average, it takes about 2 years to get over to be able to deal with the grieving process. On average, I mean, everyone's different, obviously. And people that blank it off, that don't want to deal with it, eventually at some stage down the line in life, they will have to deal with it. It will hit them. So it's like sowing the seeds. It's like sowing the seeds for somebody and sowing the seeds of love. And that's really all it is. Just having love all around you. As I say, it's not love. That's different. But love, pure divine love.
We've been listening to Philippa Kingsley. She's the author of her book, Rising Above Grief for People and Pets, a true story of love, caring, and sharing. Philippa, tell us how to get your book. You have a website.
I have a website, I do. It's called www.healingpeopleandpets.com. www.healingpeopleandpets.com. You can buy the book on Amazon, at Amazon.com, at Balboa Press. You can also buy it from my website, also at Barnes & Noble. And you can also buy it in the UK at amazon.com.co.uk. And all the other Amazon ways of buying out books on Amazon. And obviously at Balboa Press. Worldwide. And it's not a sad book. It's a lovely book. It's a beautiful book. Go onto my website, look and see what I do, understand where I'm coming from. And if you'd like to connect with me, please send me an email at philippa@healingpeopleandpets.com. It's all on my website. The book, explaining about the book is on there as well. On every single page of my website, you've got the front cover of the book and then how to purchase and a little bit about the book also.
Well, thank you, Philippa, for being with us on Indie Book Publishing.
Thank you, Steve. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
And this interview has been brought to everyone by Balboa Press.